Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 2 of a year of game design. We're still at it. 14 days, haven't missed a day yet. 30 minutes a day, still plugging away. Still feeling pretty good. I'll talk more about that a little bit in the videos as we take a look at what we've been able to get done. But still feeling pretty positive about it, feeling productive. And so, thumbs up so far. Still kind of hacking away at things. A couple things I want to talk about before we dig in and look at stuff. There was a person who reached out in the comments, and then a couple people reached out on Twitter. They wanted more information on the course that I'm using. And so I thought I'd talk a little bit about that. The first thing is the engine, again, that we're talking about is Unity. And Unity, a thing to know about Unity is it's available totally free unless you make more than $100,000 a year, I think, in revenue off of it, in which case you have to buy it. But you get the complete full version. Everything's there. It works on Mac. It works on PC. It works great, well supported. They're constantly coming out with updates. So, and it's a very well-respected engine. A lot of big name games are made with Unity. So if you are interested in game design, that's not a waste of time. It's a good tool to learn, and you can start right in for free. So you don't have to pay anything to get the software per element of it. The course that we're working through right now is the Complete C# Unity Developer 2D Learn to Code Making Games. And I'll put a link down below. It's available on Udemy, which is a platform that sells courses, and it's a one-time fee for a course. So you might pay $12 for a course, and then you get access to the course forever after that. So it's one fee per course. You can buy whatever courses you want and things like that. And just a caveat, I don't get any money from Udemy. I don't get any money from the developers of the course. So just that these are good things. And I think in the course of this journey, I will recommend things that I'm liking and maybe not recommend things that I'm just not enjoying. But by all means, I strongly recommend Udemy because they have really cheap courses. And this course in particular is pretty good, although there's another good dozen courses or so, or more probably, maybe 20 good courses on Unity and designing games on Udemy as well. So poking around can lead to some good finds. One quick tip about Udemy, if you do go there and try to look at this, is that they always have sales. The base price of a course is often $30, $50, $90, $100, $150, $199. They are constantly having sales. So my recommendation is never pay more than $12, because if it's more than that and you come back 3 or 4 days later, it's going to be $12 or less. They never go below $9.99. I've never seen them below $9.99, but they're always going on sale. And this course in particular, the Complete C# Unity Developer 2D course, it's got about 35 hours of video in it. I bet working through it, if you do the challenges and kind of work through all the stuff, it's probably a good 50 to 100 hours of study. And they recently, over the past couple years, they've updated the whole course. When I bought it a little while ago, it was all older content, and they completely redid the course for free. And updated everything to kind of match with the newer versions of Unity. So it's been recently updated. They're fantastic people. They have a Discord channel for support and stuff like that. So it's a good course. I mean, I'm looking now at the rating, 4.7 ratings out of 5, 68,045 ratings. So everybody talks about this one. It's a very well-known course. It's great for getting started. So I highly recommend it to check that out. I think that was, there's one more thing I thought I would mention a little bit is I may do my first Game Jam, the winter version. So Game Jam basically is you have a set amount of time, and the goal is to start with nothing and finish with a game. A lot of them are kind of 2 days, 3 days and stuff like that. And with a full-time job, I'm doing this as a hobby, just as for fun. With a full-time job and kids and family and all that kind of stuff, those 2-day ones are just brutal. I can't do those. I mean, it's like 48 hours. You don't sleep. You're just drinking caffeine. If you can do it, that's great. But this one, my first Game Jam, the winter version, is about 2 weeks long. I think it's January 25th to February 8th, so 15 days, which is perfect because it's a nice slow pace, really friendly community. I did one about a year and a half ago, and I made a lot of progress on a platformer at that time and had a really good time. So I might do that. And again, part of the reason is, as I mentioned in the videos, kind of looking at the work, is that I like following tutorials and I like learning how to do things that way, but I feel like I need to really be constantly balancing out so that I'm just taking an idea and building a game and seeing what kind of roadblocks I run into to really force myself to break away from the tutorial. So I'm thinking I need to do that sooner than later. There'll be one more version that comes out, the January 21st, week 3 edition of this will come out before that starts. So at that point, I'll make up my mind whether I'm going to do the Game Jam or not. But it is interesting. Check it out if you're interested. I'll put a link down to it. It's on itch.io. And it's well worth doing. So I think that was all I really wanted to mention. Again, if you are new and you want to follow us, please subscribe. If you're enjoying it, please give it a thumbs up. But I think it's time to dig in and take a look at what we're able to get done in week 2, mainly working on Block Breaker. So let's check it out. So in the past 7 days, I spent most of the time working on Block Breaker again, that's course in the unit. Unit in the course, actually, and added a lot of new features to it and solved some problems and some design problems and things like that. So I felt like it was a really good week of learning. The game now, if we fire it up here, this was something that the game now has scoring, so top right-hand side, and particle effects. So when we hit a block, you'll see them explode and do all these little star things. And up in the top right-hand corner, you can see that the score is going up. And so it adds a little kind of some more elements to the game here. Also, we learned about singletons, which was a concept I'd learned before, but never quite conceptually grasped, and now I think I've got it, which is really good. And basically, the issue here, we have a couple of levels in the game. If you actually win this level and go over to the next level, what was happening was the score wouldn't get carried over, so you'd reset to 0 when you get to the next level. And basically that's because when a scene loads, it loads all its stuff, and it doesn't know about what was going on in the previous scene. And singletons are a way to keep objects from previous scenes and transfer them over to the next scene, which was a concept I never got before. I'd used singletons before in building some games, but I wasn't quite sure what I was doing and why it was a problem. And now it clicked. So I'm super excited about that. That, I think, will really help in building a lot of other games going forward, and that I understand that concept, how to not destroy something on a load and things like that. Also, if we look at this first level, another new feature that we learned about was how to make different types of blocks. So you can see we have different sizes and things like that. But in Cooley, these blocks down here, these gray blocks, for example, are indestructible. No matter how many times you hit them, they don't destroy. The green blocks, however, have damage points, and red blocks have damage points. So they have to be hit a number of times before they break. And you can that kind of adds a lot of different elements and kind of components to the game too. So it's fun to learn about that. A few design questions. One of the interesting ones I thought was there were times where the ball can get stuck. So, for example, if the ball is going between this indestructible block and the side wall, it could just bounce back and forth forever. Or if you wiped out this block and the ball was up here, it could bounce up and down forever. And so there's kind of some neat design discussions in the game, in the course, talking about how to solve that problem by either adding friction to objects or kind of changing the angles of objects. Or in the case of what we did was add a little bit of randomization into how the ball leaves an object that it strikes. So it's basically just going to kick it up to the right, change the angle just a little bit, so now the ball will never get stuck, which it actually was happening as I was playing through the game a few times before. There are win conditions now, so we coded in how to add up how many blocks are in a particular, how many destructible blocks are in a particular level, and if you clear all the blocks, instead of the game just saying, I don't know what to do, now the game goes, oh, the person won, and it kicks you to the next level. So we've got kind of a fully functioning game. I think going forward, that's everything that's been done. So I feel like quite a few things there. We learned about tags too, so you can distinguish between types of block and code and everything, and in design. So really fun, just a lot of cool things. Up next, it's kind of adding a few levels to the game. We're going to add in an autoplay feature, so the game will just play by itself so you can test it, which will be pretty helpful, I think, in designing things. And then that's pretty much it. They talked a little bit about kind of tweaking and designing and building levels and kind of making a fully functional game, but I'm not so interested in that, so I think I'm going to finish up the basic version of this game and then call it a day. And I'll probably post a link to a playable version online or something like that next week when I finish up the third week. And then after this, pretty exciting, going to Laser Defender is the next game. So basically I have a spaceship at the bottom of the screen, and enemy spaceships kind of come down, aliens come down, and you're trying to blow them up before they get to you. So that should be a pretty fun game to design and build, so I'm looking forward to that. And then in terms of kind of being stuck or kind of emotional things, like the second week is never as much fun as the first week of something. So I felt like this was a little bit more grindy than the first week. And there are a couple places there was an issue with importing something into Unity that I got stuck with because there's a certain way that the Mac handled the zip file that wasn't working. So that was kind of a side problem that kind of burned up, 20 minutes or so trying to solve that. But other than that, I feel like every day I've been making progress, and so kind of in terms of what's between my ears, I feel pretty good. I feel like I'm learning a lot and feel like things are going pretty good. So 2 weeks down, and kind of I'm into this now. It's feeling pretty good. It's starting to feel like a habit too, which is good. So it's easier to sit down and say, oh, that's right, I'm going to do my half hour, and then it's good. So from that perspective, feeling pretty good about things. We're going to keep on going. I expect to finish this up, and then I'm going to start Laser Defender and maybe a winter game jam. Thinking about that. I'm starting to really feel pretty good about it too. And a quick look too, last thing, I guess, quick look at the code. It's, it's quite a bit more. There's a game session script that we added to. This is where you add the singleton and talking about load orders. So a lot of kind of conceptual things behind Unity 2. So a really good week. I'm pretty happy with it. That's about it for now. We'll see you in a week, and hopefully this one, Block Breaker, will be done and we'll have made some progress on Laser Defender. Thanks for stopping by. If you've enjoyed the video, a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. If you're new and want to keep up with this, please consider subscribing. Have a great day. Thanks.